Hello, this is John from caveofprogramming.com and welcome to the Java for Complete Beginners course. Now originally I made this course with the idea in mind of promoting some one-to-one lessons that I used to give and that I no longer do, and for that reason originally the course was kind of focused on people who are already doing a bit of Java and they just wanted some kind of help in systematically understanding the whole subject. But since then a number of people have commented that it's not really a Java for complete beginners because I hadn't kind of explained where you get the necessary tools to write Java programs, or indeed what a Java program is. So for that reason I've gone back now and I'm adding some videos to the beginning of the course, of which this is one, where I want to explain a bit more about how you get started with Java development, what you need and how Java actually works. So if you're going to take this course, you will need some basic computer knowledge, like you'll need to know how to use a computer, how to find files on your system, how to use the internet, how to find things on the internet. You should be familiar with basic computer concepts, and even then, if you're completely new to programming, then programming is initially quite difficult. But the way I'd suggest to get over that is just follow the tutorials, just write the computer programs out for yourself and try changing them a little bit and see what happens, and you'll find that eventually the penny drops and it becomes a lot simpler than you originally thought. But there is initially what feels like a steep learning curve, just because you're seeing something completely new that you've never previously seen, and at first you feel a bit at sea. So let's get started now with, in this tutorial I'm just going to explain how to get the stuff that you need to begin developing Java, what you need to install, and then in the next tutorial I'm going to explain a bit about what Java actually is. So let's take a look. This is actually a program called Eclipse, and as I'm going to explain in the next tutorial, to create a Java program, you create basically text files and you turn them into kind of binary computer program files that your computer can run. And this is a specialized editor for developing Java programs, which will also do that step of creating computer programs from your text files. So you'll need this, and before you install this, what you need is something called the JDK and the JRE. Now if you go to Google and you search for, let's take first the JRE, search for JRE 7, which is the one that I've used in this course, and you could try searching for JRE 8 or later, which may be available by the time you're actually looking at this course, but at the moment you want JRE 7. Now I'm going to explain what this JRE actually is in the next tutorial, but for the moment let's just concentrate on actually installing it. In fact, the JRE will run your Java programs, and you've probably already got it installed, but it doesn't hurt to actually double check and install it if it's not already present. So search for JRE 7, and you want the standard edition JRE. Actually, I'm not even sure if there are multiple versions, but let's take a look. So I've searched for JRE 7 and go to the first link you see, which will be from oracle.com, and click on that. And this kind of page here, it looks sort of horribly confusing, but it's not too bad. I'm going to assume that you're using Windows, although this also applies to other operating systems, but for this series of tutorials I've developed everything using Windows. So once you've found this Java Standard Edition, that's SE Standard Edition Runtime Environment, that's JRE, Java Runtime Environment 7 or 8 if it's out, you'll get to a page that looks something like this hopefully, and just look for the installer for your operating system. So let's see, here we've got, for example, Windows x86 online. So if you've got a PC, we call that an x86 system, and you'll see here I've got JRE 7 Windows I'm not really sure what I stands for, 586, Intel 586 I guess, .exe. So just download that and install it. It just installs like a normal program. You should have no problems, and it'll probably tell you you've already got this on your system, in which case you don't have to bother any further. And all this does is it just allows you to run Java programs. So if you're already running Java programs, then maybe you won't need to bother. And you also need to just accept the license agreement here as well. Now once you've got your JRE Standard Edition SE, you'll need the JDK, and the JDK is the Java Development Kit. It's the software that allows you to create Java programs yourself. So if you search in Google for JDK7, or again JDK8 if it's out, and you want the version to match the JRE that you've got, so search for, let's say, JDK7 Standard Edition SE you want, and here at the top link from oracle.com we've got the Java Standard Edition Development Kit 7 downloads, and so that's JDK stands for Java Development Kit. So if you click on that, and let's take a look at this page, and again you want the appropriate file for your operating system, so you need to say that you accept the license agreement again, and just select the appropriate file. So I would use Windows x86 because I've got a PC running Windows, and I'd download this and install it. Now once you've got your JRE Standard Edition and your JDK Standard Edition, you need the Eclipse IDE. IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. So I'm going to go back to Google here and search for Eclipse Java IDE, because there are actually various versions of this for different languages, and I want the Java one, and I'll search for that. And in fact, the top link that comes up is to eclipse.org, and then we've got a specific link to the downloads page on eclipse.org here. So you could either go to eclipse.org and look for the downloads link, or just go straight to this page here, Eclipse Downloads. And now you need to install the Eclipse IDE for Java developers. So this EE one here, that's for if you want to do kind of web related stuff, which we won't be covering in this basic course. So you could install that and it would be fine, but I would suggest if you're a complete beginner, install the Eclipse IDE for Java developers. Now this, at the moment at least, just downloads a zip file, and you just unzip the zip file and then find the icon to start it up within the unzip folder, and just double click on that to start Eclipse. So I'm going to assume, as I say, that you're okay with unzipping zip files and things like that. So just download this zip file and unzip it somewhere. I would use the Windows 32-bit. And although I have a 64-bit system, I'm not sure that there's really a whole lot of benefit in using the 64-bit Eclipse. And a 64-bit system can run a 32-bit program no problem. So install probably the Windows 32-bit or the right one for your platform, because I think at least that you can get it for different platforms, but you might have to hunt around a bit if you're using the Mac or something. In fact, I know you can. So that you can change, in fact, here your operating system, install the right one for your platform, and hey presto. Now that's all the software that you'll need to get started, and this is Eclipse running, and Eclipse depends on the JDK and the JRE, so you will need those. But once you've installed the JDK and JRE, you won't have to worry about them a whole lot, because Eclipse will handle using those for you basically. Now if you want to get started with the programming, you could skip forward to the kind of main section of this tutorial series where we'll actually start developing little programs. Or if you want to know more about what Java is and how it works, then I'm going to cover that in the next tutorial. So stay tuned. Well, join me again next time, and until next time, happy coding.